Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to make a auto cut plugin. So the plugin is like this one. Let me show you. So when I import the plugin, it's the plugin. So it is going to load and show the author of this post, like information like name, description, and photo. So we are going to save this and going to preview the post. And on the front end, you can see the block as well. So in order to make this, we have to first go to the VS Code, and first of all we have to run some npx comment. So if you saw my previous two videos, you saw that I ran an npx comment with a dynamic tag in it. So but in this video I'm going to with another comment, and I find it more useful than the previous one, because I'm going to show you. So it is npx, that is WordPress, where create block, and we have to do that latest. So just write that and click enter. So when you're going to click enter, it is going to ask some question like what would be the plugin's name, what would be the plugin title or description, or the author name, license, like everything. So why we are going to use this comment? Because if you use the previous comment like we used in the previous two videos, then what is going to what happens that WordPress is going to just assign some default values for the description, version, plugin names, the text domain. It is something we don't want for our plugins. And so after typing this, click on enter. So you can see that it has started asking question. So the first question is let's customize your WordPress plugin with blocks. The template variant to use for this block. So it is asking whether we want to use the static one or dynamic one. As you know that we are building dynamic plugins, so we are gonna select the dynamic and press enter. So it is then asking the block circles for identification. So Slack is very important, as you know, for WordPress related plugin, and it is something that in WordPress.org would be very important that we have a good Slack name for our plugin. So I just name it author cut. I think I should name it profile. I like profile more than the card. So press enter. So it is saying the internal namespace for the block name, something unique for your product. So I like to use code with Mustavisor. It is the YouTube name also. So there's a CWM. You can use whatever you want. Just make sure it is unique. So press enter. Then it is asking the display title for your block. So the display title I would like to use that author profile. So this is the title is going to be shown in the backend WordPress when you are going to activate the plugin. So enter. Then the short description for your blog. So this blog is shows the profile author information. Okay, let's enter. The icon to make it easier to identify your blog. So for now I will just make it default. So the category name, so our category would be a widget. So do you want to customize the WordPress? Just leave it default, press enter. Then it will take some time to import all the dynamic templates, folders, node modules, files, everything. So it will take like 2 minutes. So after 2 minutes, I will come back. So here we go. So it is finished, and as you can see, the process is finished, and we have the auto profile folder. So now we're going to clear this, and let's close the terminal. Now in the auto-author profile, we can see our main PHP file, which is the auto-author profile.php. And here we can see all the necessary information about our plugin, like plugin name, description, version, author would be my name. I can name it here. Then we have the text domain and all necessary thing. And this is the function that is registering our block from the block manifest.php file. And then this is going to be hooking to init, so that it can register successfully into WordPress. Then so we're going to work with the source folder thoroughly. There we have the blog.json file, and we have all the information. Then we have the edit.js file. We're going to work with the file. And we have the editor.css, just responsible for the backend side of CSS for the blog. Then we have the index.js file, and it is actually the main file, and all the file actually import here. And we have the render.php file, and for this block we are going to work with this file a lot. So there is a comment, you can see php file 2 is rendering the block type on the server to show on the front end. So as you can see that this file is responsible to show content on the front end. So we are going to delete that. So if you see the block, there is a block. If you see the front end, then you can see that there is a name, there is a description, there is a photo. So sorry, here is so. Like if you see this, then you can see that our PHP file is responsible to output that, and we know that, let's zoom it, and we know that WordPress is a PHP, and so a PHP file can communicate with this database, which is SQL, and pull all the information about this post. So since our is a PHP file, which is responsible for the front end, so what we can do that we can use this WordPress specific PHP and type those PHP into the render.php file and pull this information about the author name, description, or any other information. So we can do that with that PHP file, and after doing that we can just like add some CSS. So this is something that we are going to do. So let's start. So first of all, since this is a block, then we're going to wrap everything into a div tag. So in this div tag, we must go to the PHP mode and echo a WordPress specific function, which is get block wrapper attributes. So it is a PHP function which is important for our blog because it is going to output all the CSS classes to this div tag, so that WordPress can identify the block on the front end and apply all the style, like style from the style.cs and all the default styles. So after doing that, we have to go to the PHP mode again. But why? You may question, and I'm going to show you, because you can see there is a name there, there is a description there. So what we're going to do, we are going to declare a variable like author name, and with a WordPress specific function, then assign the like a function to that author name variable. We're going to do the same for this description. I like to write post on tag or whatever, or for this image. So we're gonna declare a variable for everything here, you can see, and assign a WordPress specific function to that, so that can hold the information, and we can use it later with the HTML tag, with the CSS styles. So we are going to write the variable. Like first of all, we're going to do the author ID. Because author ID is going to be needed for the author avatar, for that image of the author. So let's get the author ID. So we're going to use a function get the author meta. So let's delete it. So in this author meta, if you pass a parameter name ID, it is going to go to that database, see the current post, and pull the author ID of this post writer. So next one is author name, and it will be get the author meta, and let's pass the display name. So if you pass the display name as a parameter, string parameter, then it is going to return us the author name. Then we're going to have another variable for the bio or description. So let's in this description and get the author meta again, same function. This time we're going to pass description as parameter. Then we have another one for the photo. So this is going to, we are going to name this author avatar. So author avatar, and we have to use a function for the get avatar. Then function author ID. Then 96 is the pixel size of this image. You have to like specify that in this get avatar function. Then yeah, we have all the variable. So now we can use that variable HTML. So in order to do that, since we're going to use the custom CSS, so and we have a specific style that you can see that the photo is on the left side, and the name and description is on the right side. There is a like a background color and a border. So here we have to use the flex box. So we're going to wrap both of that, like the left side the image and the right side the author name and description in a div tag. and we're going to implement in that div tag a display equal to flex box. Then this is going to go to the left side, and this part is going to the right side automatically if you write with the flex box, so it would be much easier for us. So let's define that tag div, and let's assign author profile part and this class, and so everything would be in this div tag. So for avatar, we're going to introduce another div tag with the class, so we can style it author avatar. There you go. So it would be avatar. Then in this div tag, we're going to put the PHP mode in order to the output the variable and author avatar. There we go. So now we have the image. So we're working on that side. So what we're going to do, we're going to add another div tag, and we will wrap that div tag with both of these tags, which is I think first one is h3 tag, and the second one is p tag, and both of them will be inside a div tag. So let's minimize that, and let's write div, and let's name it author info. So as we said that in this div tag, we're going to have that h3, which is with the author name, and let's put the PHP mode, and let's equal this HTML. It is a good practice to use this HTML, so it can strip all the HTML and the author name may include. So let's stop bracket and set that function. We're going to pass the author name. There you go. So this is our h3, and now we're going to define the p tag for the description. So we are going to assign a class name, which would be author bio. It will be author bio. We have a static. So in this author bio, we are going to equal the author bio variable, but sometimes author don't really fill up the author bio field. So sometimes for some author there is no description, so we have to check that if the author has filled on the author description form. So and if he doesn't fill up the form, then we are going to equal something else, like the author has not written a biography yet. But if he has, then we are going to just output his bio. But why we are doing that? Because just think that we are outputting the author bio when author didn't fill up that author description form, then the program would be is going to be break, because there is nothing to output, but we are saying to the program that output that variable. So we have to be careful about that. We have to check that if author has a description, then if the description is filled, then output the author bio variable, else output something else like a text. And so we're going to go to the PHP mode again, and yeah, if we're going to have a if statement, then we're going to say if not empty author bio or bio. So we're going to check if it's not empty, then show the author bio variable only. Author bio variable. Yeah, and sorry. So, but in case if he doesn't fill out the author import, then for that reason we're going to have a else statement and echo saying this author has not written a biography yet. Let's make it double quote. So here we have all the code ready. So let's revise what we're doing this here. So since we have a front end and we are going to display the author name, bio or avatar, and we have the PHP file, then we can just like communicate with the WordPress database with the all WordPress specific PHP function and get those data and display it using the HTML and CSS. So what we have done, that we are going to just declare a div tag and equal the get block prepare attribute function. Then for the benefit for us, we are going to just declare some variable and with the get the author meta function and pass the appropriate parameter to that variable. Like for author ID is ID, for author name is display name, author bio is a description. So we have the variable, then we can make this HTML structure and equal that variable inside this HTML text. So it depends on the style, what type of style you want for your blog. The HTML structure would depend on your style. But as I showed that I'm going to use the face box, so I used a style like a div plus and wrap all of the HTML text with this. Then I use another div tag and there I output the author avatar. And there's another div tag that wrap all the author name and the author bio. And then I use the author name there to output, and for the author bio I checked if the author has filled out the author bio. So if he has all filled, then only I equal that, otherwise I am outputting a text. So this is complete now, but we haven't written any CSS yet for our like classes like author profile card or author avatar. So we are going to do that. So for our CSS, we have to use this style.scss. It is automatically linked to the front end. So we don't have to like use a link tag and write a link for this CSS in order to apply those style. Whatever we are going to write, that it is going to be applied to the front end. So let's style our profile card. So first of all, we're going to write author profile card second bracket. So since we have to use the display, we're going to use the flex box, then we are going to set display flex. Then we have to use the gap px 20px. Then align item, we want everything to be in center, so let's center it. Then background color, so we're going to use the background color F9 F9 it's just white. It is actually white color. Then we have to have some padding 20px. Then a border radius which look good on front end and I like it very much, so it will be 10px. Then border would be 1px solid. Then the border color would be it is a white color, it will be solid. So okay, then we're going to style the image, so it will be auto avatar image. Then we're going to just have some border radius to make it just round, and we're going to give it upon 50%. Then we have to style the author name. The margin top would be 0 pixel, and margin bottom would be 5px. Let's and font size would be 1.5 rem. Then we're going to style the author bio. Then for the author bio, let's make a dot. The margin would be 0, color would be 555. So the style of our block is completed, and so render.php and style file is completed. So we're going to test that how the block is gonna look. So this is our working site. This is the site actually we are working on, and the site I showed you before. This is like the like to show you that how the block is really look like. So go to the wall post, and if you click on that, or click it, our block name was author. Okay, we have to first activate our block. We forget that. So here is our block author block. The block shows profile author information. So let's activate it. Then looking to the posts and select that a post. Then let's input the block auto. Here is our block auto-author profile. If you select that, you can see the auto-author profile from editor. So you may question that I can see the block from here, how the block is look like, but we have a solution for this as well, and we are going to address that very soon. So just for now, just save it and go to the front end. So for some reason it's saying auto author profile hello from a dynamic block, so it is not rendering the block we just developed. And I know what is the issue actually. When we just write all the codes or everything, we have to make sure that this codes actually get to compile and go to this build folder, because actually we are using the React PHP, especially the React ones. Actually WordPress doesn't understand those React codes. It has to be compiled, converted to the raw JavaScript code. So unless we do that, it is not going to read those code and compile that. So we have to go to the terminal and go to the folder, auto folder, and after we go to this folder, we have to run the npm start. So it is going to get all of the codes and convert it to the code that WordPress can understand. So let's enter. So you can see the compile successfully. So let's minimize it and refresh it. So as you can see, there is the block, but we can see that there is some issue, like this text should be white and there should not be any blue. I think it is happening because the block is inheriting color from the parent block. So it is something we don't always cross that, and so we have to go to the stylish CSS, and we don't need that, need this one. So let's delete that. We are inheriting those stuff from that block. Let that CSS class, then minimize, then refresh, then you can see that those styles are gone. It is looking better. So as you can see that it was successful in pulling those name, like the post was written by me, so it is showing my name. Then it is showing that this author has not written any description, biography. So it is a good example that what if the author hasn't written any biography about himself. So that's why, and we can see this in action, that this is showing this author has not written any biography yet. So this is the picture. So let's go to the profile and write some biography. So you can see that display name, it is the profile of the author, of all author, and you can see you can write the display name from here, or everything like profile picture, biography, and WordPress is going to just pull that those information from this profile page of the author. So let's write a profile that I like to write blog on tech. Let's save it and go to the post again. As you can see that this thing, I like to write blog on tech. So as you can see, you saw that when there was no description for my profile, it was showing that what the author hasn't written any blog. So what if we didn't say those EPLC statement? So it has to just output the author bio variable, and it has to upload the author bio variable, but the author bio variable didn't have any value. So what it would going to do, it would just throw error. So, and we can see error all over our screen, and it is a bad user experience. So we have to always make sure that we use this if else statement and see if the author bio is really defined first, then only echo that. Otherwise we're going to echo some text. So as you can see, it is working, but in the backend, let's refresh that. I can see that it is showing something else. That is saying the author bio profile hello from the editor. So as you can see that it is something, if a user import the blog and see that, he will have no idea that what this blog is doing, and if the blog is outputting the correct information, unless he go to this front end and see it itself. So it is a bad user experience, and it is something that we don't want for our users. We want maximum benefit for our user, and so that's why we have a thing that we can do so that this blog, this PHP block, can be shown on the backend also in this React file. So this is something, in order to do that, we have to go to the edit.js file, and as you can see, there's a lot of things going on here, a lot of import, a lot of comments, but now we don't need that, so I'll just delete that. And what we're going to do, I think in order to do that successfully, we have to go to the plugin folder. Then we have to write some npm. So what we're going to write? So we're going to write some npm comments that I have, and so we have to write npm install WordPress ServerSideRender and save. So you have to hit enter, and it may take just 30 seconds to complete all the things. So it is completed. Let's clear it. Cross this terminal. Now we're going to import something. We're going to first import the WYSIWYG props component from the file React file. WYSIWYG props from WordPress blog editor. Then we are going to import the ServerSideRender. We just install the server side. Sorry, it would be capital letter server side render from WordPress ServerSideRender. There we go. So why we import this component ServerSideRender? So in order to understand that, we know that the render.php file is responsible to output this block, right? It is a PHP file, and the render.php is using all the WordPress specific PHP function in order to render their name, description, and this is fine for us, okay, right? But if we go to the backend, I think this is our backend, yeah. So if you go to the backend, then it is our working site, by the way. Then we can see that we know that this is the React file. Actually, React is responsible for all of that, and edit.js file is controlling these things. Especially edit.js file is responsible for our custom block at least, but all of that are React actually. So this are PHP file, and it can show this without any problem. But if you want to show the same thing in this React file, there is no way, because you can show a PHP block or PHP code can be executed in a React file. This is not possible. But when you use this server-side-render, what is going to do? It will ask the render.php file that whatever you have those HTML files and those completed file that is render.php file is showing on this front end. So it will ask that file that you have the this completed file, this completed code. Just show me that block here as well. So that render.php file is going to just show whatever is in this front end here as well. So let's continue with our code. So we have to actually export the function, then it's the default, then function edit, then go and do the parenthesis, and we have to use the return. Now return, actually the semicolon, and now make some room. We have to use the deep tag, then you have to go to the PHP mode. What is the issue? JS must have. So sorry, we can go to the PHP mode in a JS file. It was a mistake for me. We have to go to the JS mode, absolutely, because it is a JS file, and we have, after going to the JS mode, we have to use the WYSIWYG props, this function. So it is going to assign some classes to the deep tag that WordPress can understand that when we're going to the select the block, WordPress will show the appropriate all settings related to the block and make sure that block is functional. So after declaring that div with block props function, we are going to use the server side render component. Then there is a tag named block. In this block we have to, okay, this is a self-closing block, so it will be like that. So in this block tag name, we have to pass the name of our plugin, of our block. So what is our name? It is, you can see here, it is CWM with the name space CWM Auto-Author Profile. So let's copy that. Let's go to the edit.js file again and paste it there. So that's it. So it is so after reading this line, WordPress is going to go to the render.php file and request that whatever you have the completed block front-end file, just to show that here as well. So if you save that and just refresh, here we go, it is showing on our backend too. So whenever the wizard is going to import the block, the wizard can see the block output here as well. So if you do that, you can see that it is showing the output, the same output that it's showing on the front end. So that's it for our video, and it was a great one. I think we learned a lot. So there will be another video coming soon, and until then, bye, and thank you for watching this video.